Heyo everybody, Haku here with my video on the Tower of God hot or not survey thing. Gonna do a bit of an intro here to explain everything that's going on, and sorry if I'm a little bit phlegmy sounding, I just ate lunch. But huge thank you. I want to credit and shout out Lolzarro, who I've mentioned in the reaction, great member of the general Tower of God internet community. Lolzarro for making these, and the original idea by Tomato Michelle 7. Thank you so much to them for everything. Like, I don't know, the basic concept of me being able to do this. Huge thank you to them. Wanted to credit them, wanted to say thank you. But in addition to that, so first they made the men's hot or not survey thing. If this is a trend, sorry, I am boomer and I out of touch. So yeah, first the men's one was made, and I was like, okay, when I do my reaction this week, and that was like way back last week, I'm way behind on recording this. So I was like, when I do my reaction, I will also react to the results of the men's hot or not thing, but then they made a women's one, and I'm like, okay, I'm qualified to answer this one. Because it's like, I'm not saying I'm never attracted to anyone that identifies as a guy, but if I am, it's usually because, like, visually they're feminine, and I'm not really sure if any tower, like, we'll see when we go through the men's results, but I don't really think any characters from Tower of God, like, do that for me. Like, maybe you could say, like, Yuhan Sung, but I don't know, nobody off the top of my head. Maybe, I think I remember, because I haven't looked through the women's, because I wanted it to be a, like, surprise to me when I go through this. I didn't want to do anything ahead of time. But when the men's was posted, I did look through it, and I didn't think I saw Huang, and I feel like Huang could be attractive to me. I mean, Huang is basically just Guy Yura, you know? So yeah, I guess there's nothing really else to say before getting into it and answering, except I will say one thing that from previous experience doing videos like these, I think provides helpful context for my decisions. I mean, of course, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. I always say that no matter what you look like, there's going to be people who aren't attracted to you and people who are extremely attracted to you, no matter what you look like, period. So beauty is absolutely in the eye of the beholder, so everyone's opinions are going to be different. But some things that affect mine, I tend to look at the series when thinking about it in, like, these terms, like doing waifu tier lists and stuff. I tend to look at the series through the frame that we see the series, like the main character's frame of vision. That doesn't really affect anything for Tower of God, I think, but like using Hero Academia as an example, when I first started reading, I was probably around the age of Izuku and his classmates. Now I'm probably closer to, like, Mount Lady Ryukyu age, but when I look at the series, I view Mount Lady and Ryukyu as, like, older characters, and I view characters like Asui or Yaoyorozu as, like, default. I still look at things through the frame of the main character. I don't really think that affects anything in Tower of God, since, like, everyone's basically hundreds or thousands of years old, and there's, like, usually not too much meaning in it. Also, the fact that nobody's really outside, like, people even say, oh, Adori somehow could end up with Bomb, so, like, nobody's really outside Bomb's frame of reference in a way that I think it would affect my decisions too much. But one thing that would definitely affect my decisions, I came across this a lot when I did the Pokemon Smash or Pass challenge that was really popular. I don't remember when. Was it earlier this year? Was it last year? It was probably last year. Whenever I did that, there were a lot of times when I'm like, am I answering could I or would I? Like, I kind of lean more toward could I most of the time. Like, could I, if this was my only choice, or would I, as in, if I had multiple choices, would I choose this path? So that, I think, will affect things. You'll probably see me get stumped on a couple where I'm like, am I answering could I or am I answering would I? Also, I am woefully nice, so there's probably going to be a lot that I'm going to be, like, very easy on. Like, yeah, I definitely could. I could find this person attractive, just because I'm like, oh, I don't want to say they're unattractive. So I'll try to answer as honestly as possible, but, like, I tend to go very easy on people. But yeah, this is just going to be trying to keep it to my opinions on whether or not, if I entered the tower at the same time as Bomb, would I find this person attractive or not? That's generally my frame of mind here. So let's start it off with Adori Zahard. We don't have a face, and I think because of that, I'm going to be a hypocrite later on, probably. But I'm going to say not, just because, like, CU makes. We don't have crazy One Piece designs. CU makes basically everyone attractive, so there's no doubt in my mind that Adori probably will be attractive. But at the same time, we don't know enough yet that I feel like I should answer hot, you know? Ai, though, is definitely hot. Ai is very attractive. Ai is so cute. I really like her. Anaxahard. Okay, so there's like maybe 2 or 3 characters that come to mind that I'm like, who do I find the most attractive? And I'll say those when I get to them. But then there's a couple more. Like Anak, the original, could be like one of the most attractive. Anak, like freaking the liddies down there, like Mommy Anak is really, really attractive. And Dorsey, I generally am not the biggest fan of Endorsi's personality, but I do still find her attractive, and I really like her as a character. So I will say hot, but like really on that line, really teetering that line, because I'm not really a fan of her personality. Angel is hot. Angel is definitely attractive to me. Apple, I'm thinking not. I'm thinking not for Apple. Ari Bright Jaren is like maybe top 5. Maybe top 5. Ari Bright Jaren's very, very attractive. Definitely hot. Arya, I'm on the fence about. I don't know. When I look at her, I'm just like very, very torn. Like there's some bits about her design that I'm like, okay, that's attractive to me, and some that aren't. I'm not really huge into the character in general. I guess I'll still say hot, but it is much more of a could I answer than a would I answer. Arlen, I think this is where, compared to my answer earlier with Adori, I'm going to be a hypocrite and say hot, just because, though again we haven't seen the face, I feel like Arlen's style, I love the outfit, I love the hair, like I like the style more than the sort of panel not really that we have of Adori. Berdish though, Berdish is like just like Ari Bright Jaren, Verdish is one of the highest ones for me. Definitely, definitely hot. I would let Verdish do anything to me. Oh my god. Barrow. I'm going to say not. The design's a little like the face is kind of weird. Also the giant candy. Black March is one that I've never really thought about in that context. I guess Black March is hot. I guess Black March is attractive. Kan Hong's a confusing one. Gang's a confusing one. I'm going to say hot, but again, it is much more of a could than would situation, I think. Cha Tanawa. I do, like, basically, some of these are, like, not characters at all. Basically, we've seen them once or twice, so we really only have their design to go off of. But just design alone, I will say hot for Cha Tanawa. I love the design. I like the hair a lot. The like, weird ear things she's got going on. Death Lady is a character that I love. I mean, I feel like I don't find her as attractive as much as I like the character, but I'm still going to say hot. She is still attractive. I really like Death Lady. Dewan, people are going to hate me for this opinion. I'm going to say not. I'm not attracted to Dewan. I don't know. The design is like pretty in the sense that I feel like, oh, looking at a landscape is pretty. Looking at like a picture of a mountain or a sunset is pretty, but not pretty in the sense that I would be attracted to her. So there's that, and there's the personality that I'm not into. Dravi's a confusing one because we haven't seen Dravi's face. Just from the outfit and hair, though, I'm willing to say hot. I'm willing to like go ahead and give Dravi hot. Eurasia N is interesting. So looking at this panel, something that I realized just recently looking at this panel, I feel like her hair thingies are like they're both Pobed out. I feel like her hair thingies are similar to Tiara's. Like, see the little hair thingies she has? I think they're similar to what Tiara has. But yeah, we haven't really seen Eurasia N. I'm going to say not, but it is very much an Adori situation. where I'm sure when they do get actually really introduced, I'm sure they will be very attractive, but I just don't think I have that information to answer yet. Compressed Evankel, absolutely hot. I am a sucker, I've said it a million times, I'm a sucker for dark skin, light hair, and like a little beefier, a little on the muscular side. So Evankel really like checks all the boxes for me personally. And I feel like uncompressed, decompressed doesn't really look that much different, so I'm also gonna say hot. Yeah, I don't really think they look that much different to me. Felix, I'm gonna say hot. Felix is attractive. Felix is kind of, you know, the new like Lois Lane in that new Superman cartoon or whatever. Felix has that same sort of tomboy energy. Flippa, this is gonna sound horrible. So if you were seeing this panel, I was immediately going to say hot, but I'm actually gonna say not. And my justification is if you took her from the neck down, if you showed me a panel of Flippa from the neck down, I would probably say hot. I'd probably say, ooh, monster girl, mermaid, whatever. But then you show her from the shoulders up. And I'm not gonna lie, right now, this face is not exactly doing it for me. Grande is attractive. Grande's hot. Grande's hot. I wonder what she looks like under the mask, but hey, the mask can stay on. Green April, I will also say hot, but again, we've barely seen Green April, but I kind of feel like she has like the skinny, short hair, like pixie girl energy, so I'm gonna say hot. Gunner Girl, am I just saying hot for everyone? I'm gonna say hot just because I don't find her unattractive, you know what I mean? I feel like she's pretty normal, but like normal in a way that I can still find attractive. Grom is definitely hot. Grom is probably one of the most attractive characters. H14, again, barely a character, but showing off the Robitties, I gotta say hot. Ha Chonhee, again, I feel like this is going to be another Dewan situation. People may disagree, may dislike my answer for this one, but I'm gonna say not. I don't find Chonhee attractive particularly. I think the makeup is a bit much. I really don't like the last, like, a lot of people disagreed with me when I said this in general. I'm not a fan of the, like, Power Rangers villain wannabe outfit that she had in Last Station. I think just her regular uniform that she had in the nest is, like, better. That's more attractive. But Chonhee still just doesn't do it for me. Yura's definitely hot. There are better panels of her even than this. Yura's definitely hot. Yuri, I think as well. Yuri's hot. Yuri's like not my favorite or anything, but she is still attractive. Hayurine, I think, is another Adori and Eurasia N sort of situation where I just don't think we've seen, or Yurine, where I don't think we've seen enough yet. I think once we do see Yurine, she probably will be attractive, of course, but at least from what we've seen so far, it's not enough for me to say. And it's not like Arlen, where it's like, even though we haven't seen her face, I really like the style. Hanayu's hot. Hanayu's attractive. I like Hanayu. She's very pretty. Hax, also hot. Hax is very pretty as well. Hema Slime is incredibly pretty. I don't know, it might just be the, like, up in art style that we've had lately. But Hema Slime is incredibly good looking. I love the outfit. I love the hair and outfit. Her face is super cute. I like basically everything about Hema Slime. Holly, I'm gonna say no. I'm not a fan of the pointy ears. She isn't the one with the weird arms, right? That's Knife that has the weird arms. I'm going to say not. She was just a random background character, and her design alone doesn't really do it for me. Faryun, Siyu has said, is one of the most attractive characters in the Tower of Godverse, and I've kind of got to agree with him. She is really attractive, so I'm going to say hot. Huinya Eppo, I don't think we saw enough of, and this panel doesn't really like, because isn't she just wearing like basically a tank top and stuff? I don't really remember that much. I feel like if we saw more of her, I could maybe say yes, but I feel like for right now it's a not for me. Ilnak Rapal, though, is actually a hot. I don't know, I find the little, like, I don't know, the tomboy sort of, I don't know, like, it's not even really like a business sort of aesthetic. She kind of wears like it's almost similar to like an old school, old timey 1800s like explorer shirt. You know what I'm talking about? Like she'd be right at home in like a pith helmet or whatever it's called. Um, but yeah, I kind of like that design. Vibes of like, what's the character? Akiyama from Girls and Panzer. Kind of those kinds of vibes. Repeliste is a character I don't think we've seen enough from. I would still say hot, but again, it's more of a could than a would sort of situation. Kane is hot. Very much unlike Dewan, I think her personality is much better. I think her design is better. I just like everything about Kane more. Kune's mother stylized, not. Kunkisei, definitely hot. Somebody said in the replies to like when lolzarro first posted this, they were like the Kundi goes hard or something like that, and it very much does. Macheni, I'm still going to say hot, but there's a but here. I prefer the original Macheni design with like the longer, smoother, straighter hair and like, I don't know, the rounder lines in her design. I like the original Macheni design more than the current like Macheni redesign that we've ended up with. But I would still say hot. Lee Seong, I would say hot. She's just, normal, attractive character. Alphine, hot as well. Not too much to say. Candide, I wonder what she'll end up looking like after everything that's gone on lately. But I love the shirt. Love the top. The little sweater thing she has going on. Big fan. So I'm going to say hot. I like the hair in the face as well. Elaine, one of the most attractive characters in the series. I would say hot as well. Hasacha, incredibly hot. I mean, look at this panel. I find Hasacha very attractive. So yeah, Hasacha is definitely hot. Laura, I don't know yet. In the most recent chapter, there was a panel or two of her where I was like, oh no, I can kind of see it. But this alone, not doing it for me yet. So I'm going to say not for Laura, but this is also a not yet. Okay, so when I mentioned before, most attractive characters like that come to my head, there's kind of two that battle it out. Maybe like Ari Bright Sharon could be like a third, or maybe Bradish is up there. Bradish is very attractive. Well, one of the two that if you were to ask me who is best girl from Tower of God, it would either be, I'll go ahead and say the other one. It would either be Albelda or Lefave is like the best for me. So Lefav's absolutely hot. Lefave might be the most attractive to me. Like, I think I would put Lefave above Albelda. I think Lefave is the most attractive to me. Lefave is best girl, I think. So then we have Lilial. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna say hot, but mostly because CU has put in the work for this. Like, if you were to ask me before the chapter or two before hiatus, do I find Lilial attractive? I would have been like, absolutely not. Just from Name Hunt Station alone, I would be like, no way, not a chance. But then, like, we have the few chapters before hiatus, we come back from hiatus, and, like I've said, like, towards the end of the Nest, there started to be, like, a really big improvement in a lot of things with Tower of God, and I feel like, seeing Lilial in this improved art style, the outfits she's worn have been really, really good. I think the work has been put in to make Lilial attractive to me. Mare, definitely hot. I wish Mare had stuck around. Mare's definitely hot. Shilial, much better than Lilial. Shilial, incredibly hot. White Garment Widow. You know what? White Garment Widow, I think if it wasn't for the legs, I would say hot. You will be judged for this one. I'm going to say not. I would actually say hot. This is maybe going to blow some people away. If she had like actual like spider legs, like Rhaenyra from Mon Musu, I would be like, okay, Monster Girl. Or like, gosh, what is it? The Kalog or Kalog's sister, especially Woof from Dark Souls. I'd be like, okay, Spider Girl bottom half. Like I've been here before. I am familiar with the game. But it's just the human legs. The like multiple human legs are so weird. I think that is the turnoff for me. Other than that, the arm's kind of weird too. The arm's pretty weird too. But like, I think I could still justify hot if not for the human legs. The legs being like, them having human feet is just so weird to me. Don't like, do not like. Luca slash Rian, don't know which one. Yeah, don't know which one is which. This one is attractive. Wish they'd stayed around because, yeah, that does it for me. The other one, not so much. Miyayum, really attractive. Hot for Miyayum. Yeah, I really like Miyayum's design. Mia is questionable. I'm going to say not, but also questionable. Miss Ice Strawberry is a weird one. I like the jumpsuit. Don't know how I feel about the hair. I feel like, you know, I always talk about how much I love the, like, less, I don't know, I love the, you know, less defined art style where, like, Siu was still getting his style down in season 1. I always talk about how much I like it, but I feel like Miss Ice Strawberry is not being helped by the season 1 style. I'm still going to say hot, but it's one thing where it's like I'm not really feeling it from what we've seen so far, but the reason I am saying hot is because I do like the hair, I do like the outfit, and I feel like if we saw her again in the current art style, it would be absolutely hot. So I think that she's just let down by not being in the current art style, you know? Namo is... R.I.P. Namo's hot. I would say hot for Namo. I think Namo's more attractive than Sola. Nenea, definitely hot. Ripta the Goat, definitely hot. Pandit. I guess? This is a could more than a would. I guess Pandit is hot. Pobedao Red Horns. I did not know they were a woman. I'm gonna say not, at least for now. Gonna say not. There's a lot going on here. Tiara definitely hot. Tiara definitely hot. The only thing I would change about Tiara, the only thing that I think would make her much, much better, move the bangs out of the way, have her hair pushed back instead, give us forehead. I want forehead. Yeah. If we got Pobedao Tiara forehead, her design would go from like 8, 9 out of 10 to like 11 out of 10. That's the only thing she's missing. Exposed forehead. We didn't get it. Ooh, the rabbit girl. Yeah, she's hot. I actually think she's more attractive than the actual, like, Jaja. I think she's more attractive than Jaja. Rachel is Icarus. I'm not gonna lie, this face is doofy as hell to me. I don't like the pointy ears. The face is doofy. The outfit's kind of like, eh. The hair is just super long and straight. Not really much going on. I'm gonna say not. And then, you know, you people are going to call me crazy, but like... I swear, I'm just ahead of my time. Icarus Rachel, boo, tomato, gross. But actual Rachel, like, I can't say what I want to say. I can't say what I want to say. They'll take me off YouTube hot. Yeah, oh man. Oh, especially the sweats, too. The outfit that she's wearing in that panel. They had to have chosen that panel for this reason, because there are a bunch of really cute panels of her when, like, the few chapters before hiatus, like, Siu was, I don't know if it's the current art style or if Siu was working hard because she was, like, trying to suck up to everyone, but there were so many cute panels over there, but the sweats, oh my god, I just, like, oh man, I can't say what I want to say. Rowan Yuya is attractive. Rowan is super cute. I mean, technically, like, if I were going by my sort of thing that I said before, if I were viewing it from the perspective of if I entered the tower adjacent to Bomb or whatever, not only would she already be dead, but it's a character that I wouldn't want to, like, be with if I was, like, a self-insert, because I wouldn't want to break up her and Daniel's relationship. But I still think attractive. Roku, they did some work. Roku's attractive, hot. Roland was super hot. Oh my god, look at her. Roland was super hot. Roland was super attractive. Look at that design. Just a background character that did nothing and got taken out. Wasn't Roland also the one that had the, like, really cute sort of, like, hoodie outfit when the, you know, the death happened? I don't know. I don't know if that was the same person or not. But I think it was. Roland, incredibly attractive. Ranmei's attractive. I'd say hot still. Ranmei's attractive. Rose, not. There were some panels of her that were like, oof. not good. There were some panels of her that I remember being like, oh, that face. So yeah, not for me. Rose-eel slash Loziel. I'm going to say not, but I do also feel like she is betrayed by early Tower of God art style. Ryua, isn't that Yiwa's aunt, or is she just somebody that knows Yiwa's aunt? I think it's her aunt, right? I'm gonna say not. Serena, I will say hot. I think, again, she's betrayed by the old art style, but I will still say hot. Sola, not as much as Namo, but I will still say hot. Suo, definitely hot. Suo, super attractive. I don't know, the Red Witches, man. Sophia Amaye. You know what? I'm still going to... Again, I said before that I am very lenient, so I will still say hot. Sophia Tan, hot. She's super cute. Look at the outfit. It's so cute. Then Tinker Yolche, also hot. Tinker Yolche reminds me of 2B from Nier Automata. Yeah, super hot. Fourth, unnamed 4th Army Corps Commander. Really? That's not... I thought they were just a random person. I thought the 4th was, God, what was his name? Kunin Luck. I thought they were just some, like, random lower ranked person. Their design's cute. I like the hair. They're really a nobody background character. I'll say hot. They're a nobody background character, though. Vespa. Is Vespa female? I'm going to say not. But then again, who knows? Maybe Vespa decompresses and is like super hot V-girl. Who knows? But I'll say not for now. Albelda. Yeah, Albelda's hot. Like I said, Albelda for me for the longest time, I think was the most attractive. But I think LaFave has surpassed Albelda for me. I think LaFave's the most attractive for me now. Lulu is attractive. Lulu's super cute. She just has like very normal style. I like it. Jaja, definitely hot. Super attractive. Not as much as the random other rabbit girl, but I still really like Jaja. I loved how well Jaja did in the character poll. That was great. That was hilarious. Yellow slash yellowy. I will say hot, actually. I like the design. Goseng, not... Again, wouldn't want to get between Goseng and Horyang. Plus the design's like just really basic. Yiwa. Oh man, Dr. Bonehead's gonna hate me for this one. Yiwa doesn't do anything for me. Like, I like Yiwa as a character. Love Yiwa as a character. Like, attractiveness-wise, nah, I don't really feel it. Young Suk, absolutely not. No way. Alright, let's submit this thing. Let's submit it, see what we get. And then, okay, so we have submitted it. Now, let's look at the results. We're going to look at the results for both this and... I probably should have said that at the beginning of the video, shouldn't I? We're going to look at the results for both the women's and the men's. So let's look at the women's results first, since that's the one we answered. Actually, this is kind of crazy. So I mentioned before in my reaction video that I had tried to record this twice before I did the reaction, and now I'm actually getting around to doing it. And in one of my original sort of intros, I had said, I don't really know what's going to have more responses, the men's or the women's. The men's has 150 some responses and the women's only has 120 some. That's wild to me, because I feel like generally online anime spaces, I have met a ton of female friends there. And of course, people tend to skew straight, tend to skew heterosexually. And I've met plenty of female friends this way. But I feel like generally online anime and manga spaces tend to skew male. But the past few years, I feel like K-drama, K-pop fans tend to skew female. In the past like 3 or so years, I feel like when I first started this, because of course I've been covering Tower of God for like, what, 7-8 years now? When I first started, it was like majority anime manga fans who were dabbling in webtoons. And like, then what wasn't was basically Western comic fans that were dabbling in webtoons. But I feel like over the past 3 years or so, there's been this huge insurgence of just sort of Korean content fans, whether it be K-pop, K-dramas, etc., that have really, really gotten into webtoons. So I wonder if that has any effect on the results or not. It's so interesting that there are more responses for the men's than the women's. I think it's really, really cool. Because if it was, again, if it was like 95% straight men answering, that would only that wouldn't really give us very good results. So I feel like the more sort of diverse our result set comes from, the better. So I actually think it's really, really cool. That makes me really interested to see the men's results. But either way, we will look at the women's results here. So Adori Zahar, there is no face, but still skewed majority hot over not. That's wild to me. That's crazy. We haven't even seen Adori's face. I mean, I guess a lot of people are probably assuming she'll be attractive just because it's Tower of God. Most characters, like I said, we don't have wacky One Piece designs. Most characters end up being attractive. Still, though, crazy. This is kind of a crazy result right off the bat. I being more hot than not makes sense. It's crazy that, I don't know, the percentage of hot isn't even higher. Original, you know what I just realized? Daughter Anak, smaller Anak wasn't up here. Weird. Yeah, the Princess Anak, well, I mean, technically the original was Princess Anak, but yeah, Anak's not up here. Wow, really? This is baffling. I think original Anak is extremely hot. Crazy. And Dorsey, not really a big surprise here. If anything, the big surprise, and Dorsey's like the most popular character, and Dorsey is generally, when you ask, hey, who's Tower of God waifu or whatever, a bunch of people say Dorsey. A lot of people do say Yuri and Hwaryun, to be fair. Wild to me that even 20% said not, though. Crazy. Crazy that more not than hot for Angel? This is so wild. These results are blowing my mind. For Angel. Apple makes sense. Wow, 95.9% not. Wild. Holy crap, that's insane. Ari Bright Sharon. I'm just thinking about what the Rachel results are going to be. Ari Bright Sharon, more hot than not, like 76.9%. That's pretty good. I think Ari Bright Sharon, like I said, is one of the most attractive characters. Arya might be the largest. Yeah, Arya's the largest consensus so far. 81% say hot. I wonder who will be the most attractive and the most unattractive according to the cumulative opinions of 121 people. So far, Arya's the most attractive and Apple's the most unattractive. Wild. Arlen Grace, it's more hot than not. I can't really say anything about it because I also answered hot. Berdych is wild. Berdych is one of the most attractive to me. I get not everybody's cup of tea. Nice, beefy muscle lady. But yeah, still 30.6% hot. Bero. You know what? At least more people think Bero is attractive than Apple. So all's right in the world there at least. Black March 74.4 is pretty high. Kan Hong, honestly. Kan Hong to me is like nowhere near attractive as Berdych, personally. So for her being 38.8, that's pretty solid. Chatanawa 32.2, despite being like nobody. Death Lady 41, that's pretty good to see. Dewan 72.7. You know what's interesting? That makes a lot of sense for Dewan. It's so interesting to see like who skews more and who skews less. It's weird. Dravi has more not than hot. That's weird. Eurasia N, skewing very high on hot, but again, I get why. She's probably going to be attractive when she is introduced. People, like, for all I know, she could have been introduced. Like, some of you are 12 chapters ahead of me. Evan Kell skews. Okay, I almost thought from the graphs that decompressed skewed hotter than compressed. They're about the same though, which makes sense, because to me, like I mentioned when I answered, they're both roughly the same-ish to me. Felix is kind of weird that it's skewed so far to not. Hold on. That's 95% not. Hold on, sorry for scrolling fast. What was Apple? Apple was 95.9. So Apple is still more unattractive than Flippa. Am I getting that right? Apple is still more unattractive than Flippa. And I don't remember who was the most attractive. Somebody had 81. I think it was Aria. Hold on. I went past Flippa. Grande, 16.5? How did more people not find Grande attractive? Green April skews more not than hot. That's weird to me too. Gunner Girl, makes sense. Not really much of a character. Garam is the dominant waifu. 93.4%. Wow. This is wild. And you know what? These results, like, I'm a smaller channel and stuff. I've shared it around. A lot of people have shared it around. I feel like Dr. Bonehead has a much larger audience, and this is the kind of thing he'll probably do eventually. I feel like once he does this, there will be like a huge surge in responses, and I would be so interested to see, like, if it gets a couple thousand responses or something. If, like, what the results are then. I might even, like, if I give it a couple months and it gets like 2,000, 1,000 responses, I might actually come back and just do a, like, video on the results, what they're at. That's so interesting. So Garam is the hottest so far. Apple's still the nottest so far. H14 kind of makes sense. Hachoni, interesting. Yeah, makes sense to me. Yura, yeah, makes sense. I get why a lot of people, like, I'm actually surprised it's that high, because I do find Yura to be, like, one of the more attractive characters, but at the same time, I get that a lot of people do not like Yura as a character. Yuri at 86.8, pretty solid. Hayurin is insanely high for somebody whose face we have not seen. Honey, you should be higher, probably. Hacks, interesting it's that low. Hema Slime is interesting it's that low. Like, what are people not seeing? Holly, makes sense. Huariyun, 90.9. That is still lower than Garam, right? Garam was like 93, 94. Sorry if you don't like me going up. 93.4 was Garam. Wow. So, does not beat Garam. Huinya Eppo makes sense to me. Ilnakrapal also makes sense to me. Repalista, I am kind of surprised is not higher. I feel like, I don't know, maybe times have changed. I feel like, especially in the 2010s, the type of character that Repalista is was really popular. Kane, very high up. I think not as high as Dewan, though, surprisingly. Dewan was pretty high up there. Kune's mother stylized, weirdly high. Kiseya makes sense. Misheni makes sense. Lisa Young, wow, really low. Alphine makes sense. Same with Candidi. Elaine, 90.1. Elaine almost getting up there to where Garam is. So I feel like Garam takes it then. I feel like nobody. Sorry, hiccups. Like I said, just 8. I feel like no character left beats Garam. I'm not sure if any character left beats Apple either. That's wild that Apple's the most unattractive compared to some of these designs. It's like, I mean, I don't disagree, but it's still wild. Hasacha makes sense. Hasacha's so attractive. Laura, that's an interesting one. I agree with it, because I'm kind of on the fence as well. Interesting. Lafav, to me, the most attractive, did very well. Lilial, I would say surprisingly low, but I guess not, considering how many people don't like Lilial. I mean, fair enough. Mur is weird. I would have thought Mur would be higher. I mean, I guess since she didn't really have much time in the story, but wow. Shilial, 81. Wow, Shilial. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Definitely the better twin. White Garment Widow, 14.9% of people are being judged. The original, the first Luca Rian, whoa, the second Luca Rian, 95. I still don't think that's as, like, I still think Apple was less attractive. I think Apple wasn't Apple like 95.9. So yeah, Apple's still the most unattractive, I think. Luca / Rian, the first one, I think should be higher. To tell the truth, Mia Yum, I think, should be higher for sure. Mia, I didn't expect to be that high, to be honest. Miss Ice Strawberry, I wouldn't say weirdly low. I wouldn't say weirdly low, because I guess Miss Ice Strawberry, it seems like she has booba, but it's kind of like, it's hard to tell if she has like a lolly design or not. It's kind of difficult to tell. So yeah, I kind of get it. Namo, I feel that. Nenea, definitely. I feel like Nenea should probably be even higher, but Pandit makes sense. Red Horns. Wow. Red Horns, yeah, that makes sense. Tiara, I expected to be higher. I would have thought Tiara would be higher. Rabbit Girl, too low. Icarus Rachel, and then actual Rachel. So, I know hating on Rachel's a popular meme and all. This makes sense, though. I'm surprised Rachel not even lower. Icarus Rachel, though, I'm surprised that many more people, because it's still Rachel on the inside, I'm surprised that many more people said hot for Icarus Rachel. Rowan, I thought Rowan would be a little higher. Roku, I thought would be a little higher. I guess characters that are dead, people are just like, no. Roland as well. I mean, well, obviously if you're viewing them as somebody who is already a dead body, then yeah, obviously it makes sense to say not, if you were to think about it that way. Ron May, wow, surprisingly a lot of not there for Ron May to me. Rose makes sense. I figured Rose would be even lower. Raziel kind of makes sense, I guess. Ryua. Who was Ryua again? That was the one that's Yiwa's aunt or knows her aunt or whatever. Wow. That's probably higher than Apple, or at least the same as Apple for most unattractive. Wow. Serena, I would have thought would be a little bit higher, honestly. Sola does make sense. Suo makes sense, but I think should be higher. Sophia makes sense. Sophia, the other one, makes sense. Tinker Yolte, I thought maybe a little higher. Wow. Wow, doesn't even have a name. That's a pretty good score for not even having a name. Vespa, one of the most unattractive, I guess makes sense. Albelda, one of the highest, makes sense. Jalulu, I would have thought Jalulu would be higher, same with Jaja. Yellow, I would think would be a little bit higher. Dang. Goseng makes sense. Yeah, Miseng wasn't up here either. I guess that makes sense. I mean, depending on how old you view Miseng as. I don't really know how old Miseng is. I guess that makes sense. I would have probably said not for Miseng, Yeah, I guess that makes sense. OG Anak, not OG Anak. I feel like should still be up here, though. Goseng, Yian Yiwa. Wow, that's really high. That's really high. People like Yiwa more than I thought in this context. I mean, like I said, I love Yiwa as a character. What? Holy shit, Youngsook's the most unattractive. Absolutely makes sense. I question the few people that answered hot. Yeah, I understand liking Yiwa as a character. I love Yiwa as a character. But I did not think she would be above some of the others that were in the 80s. Crazy. So it does seem like Jungsook, or Yogurt Auntie, if you don't remember, most unattractive makes sense with like Apple and Ryua behind, and the most attractive is Garam, which makes sense. Again, there's only 121 responses, but I'll ask like lolzarro since they originally made it, and if this eventually gets like 1,000 or 2,000 responses eventually, I might ask if I can like do a video on the results. Just like I'll order the results from least to most attractive. Yeah, huge thank you to them for putting it together, even though I said that they didn't include somebody who should have been included. But yeah, huge thank you to them for putting it together. I feel like, again, last thing I'm going to say about a knock not being included, I feel like from what I have seen over my years in the Tower of God fanbase, I think Anak would have actually scored pretty, not extremely high, maybe in the 60s, maybe 70s, but I do think Anak would have scored decently, just because I feel like when, over the course of the years of doing this, though I said the most people answer Andrasi is best girl, and there's a lot of people who answer Yuri, or Garam, which makes sense, or Huarian, again, makes sense, I would say maybe the fifth most often response. A lot of people say Anak. But yeah, either way, let's look at the men's results. Now onto the men's results, and I'm actually more interested in this than the women's results because, I mean, A, it's a larger sample size, and B, as somebody who's not really attracted to guys myself, it'll be interesting to see what people say, especially since I think, like, there are so many just, I don't know, people that I see people simp over all the time. So yeah, let's see what we end up with the men's results. We have Aka Williams, mostly not, poor Aka. Amico Chaz, same deal. Alumic, wow, 94% already. These, the men's aren't doing so well right off the bat, the A's here. Inietta, I would have expected to do a little better, honestly. A Gus Gus, I guess makes sense. Doom, at 68%. I feel like this got skewed. I feel like a bunch of people who weren't attracted to guys came in and answered this. Because I feel like some of these should be a little higher. Like, I mean, compared to what we just saw from the women's results, I feel like some of these should maybe be skewing a little higher. Paul, I guess makes sense. I would have thought Paul would be higher. Wang Wang, I would have thought would have been much higher. Yama, I guess makes sense. So Yama's the highest so far. Bill Barino, 98% not. Wow. Kasano makes sense. Beta, I guess. Bundawan, the Bathman from hell. Boro, on the more attractive side of things. Elliot, wow. Kanzone, wow, again, he is kind of goofy. Cha, I would have thought Cha would have been higher. Chang, you know, interesting. Charlie, I would have thought would have been lower. Chung, 98. Wow, hold up. More people are interested in the real Chung than the avatar Chung. Okay. Delete. Okay. Daniel is high, makes sense. David Ockney is very high, the highest so far. That absolutely makes sense. Death Karambit's low. Dorian Frog's pretty low. Dan is really low. Why is Dan so low? Alpathian makes sense. Enryu, okay, makes absolute sense. Higher. Evan, you know, I guess. First Emperor, honestly, I'm surprised it's that high. I'm realizing there are a lot more like weird, jokish guy character designs than girl character designs in Tower of God. Gato, very low. Awful Father. Grandalee, okay, yeah, Grandalee was, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Ha Chai, why is he even that? Why does he even have that many hot votes? Jinsung, 85.5, makes sense. Ha Ruda, geez, people find Ha Ruda less attractive than some of these other ones? Wow. I mean, I get finding him unattractive, but more unattractive than some of the other designs? Hatsu, 83%. Head on, I guess that makes sense. The 30.9% based, I guess, that are like, oh yeah, head on. Hell Joe, I'm a little surprised isn't a little higher. Ho, I guess makes sense. Ackraptor, makes sense. Chunhua. Okay. Danhua even lower, wow. Wangnan, I guess. Jock. Okay, the furries, yeah. Did we even see Real Jock? I don't remember seeing Real Jock. The furries are not there for Jock. Jordan? I feel like Jordan should be a little higher, but that's just because I like Jordan. Calavan, a little over half. These are skewing really low with the exception of a few breakouts. Horyang. We got Karaka, skewing a bit half. I get it, the mystery. Katu, I don't 100% remember. Kahelman, doing pretty decent. I remember Kahelman. Kel, okay, makes sense. I could even see even lower. Kendrick Deal, pretty low. Kel Halam, I get it, I guess. Kun Agro Agnes. Okay, 84.2%. Kun Devo Perez, I would have thought would be a little bit better. Kun Edwan Data, the highest so far, I think. Does anybody break the 90 barrier? 89.5. People really, really simp over Traumaray. But, like, here's the thing. Will Traumaray be higher? Because on the one hand, I see people simp over Traumaray all the time. And on the other hand, Trauma Ray is extremely weird. So will Trauma Ray be higher or not? Got Hatchling, makes sense. Hindluck, I guess, makes sense. I would have gone even lower. Marco Asensio Data, the real one should be higher, right? Yeah, just a little bit. Kim Lurker, holy crap, I think that's even more unattractive than Haruda. Kurudan, poor Kurudan. Leroro, it's refreshing to see Leroro do so well. The ever curious Levy, not doing great. Didiano, probably could have been even lower, but you know, that's extremely low as is. Dekoko, I would have thought would be a little higher. Fights, holy crap. Fights is not attractive, apparently. Fuchil, a lot of Five Nights at Freddy's fans out here, apparently, to bump up to 7.9%. Goruro, that's the new one that we were just introduced to. Pretty decent score there. Haracha, you know, it's a little bit. Holen, I would have thought Holen would be much higher than this. I would have thought Holen would be on the upper end of things, like 70-some%. Kadede, not doing the greatest. We've only seen like 1 or 2 panels. Koyup, you know, didn't do all that great. Kurudu, oh, Dugong Raida, didn't do that great. Kirin, could have gone higher, but you know, respect for the 48% of you. Lobodon, yeah, you know, 28% of you like the grandpa aesthetic, I guess. Meyer didn't do that well. You know, I could have thought Meyer could have gone a little better. Urari, I get it, little over half. Perseus didn't do too well. Porp did kind of surprisingly well. Perditi, I guess I get it. Trauma Ray 72%. Again, makes sense. It's like the war between the people who are like he's super hot and the people who are like he's super weird. Ren, I guess makes sense. Yasracha, tying for the highest we've seen so far at 89.5. That makes sense though. That makes sense. Yule, he's the man with 2 snakes. Didn't do that great. Yurayo, very 98% not. Wow. I mean, makes sense, but wow. Jam, 12.5% are into the insect thing. Lobi, 11.2%. The furries coming out for Lobi. Madarako, even the 2% that said hot for Madarako, surprising. Mick Gage just taking L after L. Or as Dr. Bonehead always called him, McBird. We got Michael, Muntari. Muntari should have been higher. Mule Love. Don't you people like Avatar? Mule Love. I guess makes sense. Novik should be higher, but no, Novik did really, really well at 75.7. Pan. Test Drinker Pan. Okay, 12.5. Paracule. Like, without pictures, I'm having to try to remember everybody. The 17.8% of you that said Paracule. Phones called Drac, I guess makes sense. Luray makes sense. Yurure, pretty low. Bellarear, kind of, you know, did way better than I expected, to be honest. Common Bellachad W. Enver, really low. Gastong, I could have imagined Gastong being higher. But then again, he is a nerd and a smoker. Lou, pretty low. Liboric, pretty high, honestly. But I guess, you know what they say, the Coon DNA, going strong. Mate Ha, good for Mate, getting 19. The Popodal police captain guy, Ragma, also low. The Popodal unnamed member, is that the one, I think when I looked through, they counted the unnamed guy, the guy with the fluffy hat, and the police captain guy separately, but I think it's the same guy. Poropo, you know what? The 3.9% that said hot is like a win for Poropo. Quietro Quant didn't do well either. Wow, Quattro and Quant did not do well. Rack compressed, people are like, oh, I don't want Chibi Rack, but uncompressed, and they want the Gator D. Okay, Rap Devil, Also, a lot of 98%. Somebody must have gone through and just said hot for everybody so that nobody could get 100% not. Because, wow, there are a lot of 98s. Reflejo, I guess, makes sense. Realm Mode makes sense. Sachi Faker, wow. Sachi Faker, 79.6. Wow, that's kind of a lot. Shibisu, you know what? Good for Shibisu. I would have thought a little higher, but good for him. Snake Charmer, 25%. I get it. Snake Charmer has a cool design. Really gives me Mayuri Kuratsuchi from Bleach vibes. Stua Arthur, got the big hands, reminds me of the Guados from Final Fantasy X. Tall. Tall was the blue hair guy. I can see it. So we haven't got to Venti yet. Venti was like the wide guy, right? That British took out. Taro York. The 9.2% of you that said Taro York, okay. Actually, I was thinking of Toro. So yeah, Taro York, I guess people are like, hey, I want that gator dick. But you add fur, you make it like a moth gator, then I'm out. I'm out. I may like dinosaurs, but I'm not a furry. The boss from the Duan and Cha flashback, okay. The boss from the Nest arc, I get being higher. I like the design. Serpent Master. a lot of you really connecting with Laura here. Tinker Roche, surprisingly little high. Tonki, I could have seen being even higher. Toro was who I was thinking of earlier. Kind of makes sense, but the 3.3 of you that said hot, okay. Traveler. Poor Traveler. I mean, I guess 13%'s a win, maybe? I don't know. Bomb. We've had a three-way tie for 89.5, right? Bomb, Yasracha, and somebody else. Wow. The unnamed, okay, I get him being more hot than not. I wish we actually learned a name. Yurik Mazano, 69.7. V, we don't even know what he looks like. But again, Arlen situation. Varagarv really low. Venti is low. Joaquin is 50-50. People are 50-50 on Joaquin. Vicente. People like Vicente more than Joaquin? Really? And then we have the white version. So, this is the OG miniature versions of them. So if it was an age thing, Joaquin and Vicente are in, but Miseng and Anak aren't. But yeah, this is like little Joaquin and little Vicente. And then white Joaquin and white Vicente. I love how it switched. I love how people are like, hey, like smaller Vicente is better than smaller Joaquin. Smaller Joaquin's the squished rice cake. Screw him. But then they get control of the body, and it's like, okay, now things are tied up. Now white Vicente might be hot, but so is Joaquin Vicente, or Joaquin White. I was going to say Joaquin Vicente. Yeon Woon, you know what? I mentioned before, I was like, I don't really think any Tower of God characters, aside from maybe Yu Han-sung or Huang, I could find attractive. I think I could find Yeon Woon attractive. I think so. I think I could say hot for Yeon Woon. Yolker, I could have seen Yolker being higher, but 14.5, okay. Yu Buk Dol I could see being higher. That's the Spear Bear teacher, right? Yu Han-sung's data makes sense. Yu Han-sung, I feel like, should be even hot, or even higher. Even hotter, I mean, makes sense either way. Yuji, good for Yuji. I'm on the Yuji agenda. So, yeah. I respect for more than half of you saying hot for Yuji. Mata, 25%, that's respectable, I guess. The Data Zahard, interesting. Age of Genesis Zahard, makes even more sense. Current Zahard, they're like, okay, he's fallen off a little bit since Age of Genesis. And that's everybody. Interesting. So the most attractive was, sorry, I'm going to try not to scroll too fast for you all. So it was a three-way tie for the most attractive, and I mean, there were a bunch of 98% for least attractive, but most is a three-way tie between Bomb, I remember Yasracha. Who was the third one? Let me go back up. So it was Bomb. There's a lot of, yeah, like I said, it makes sense that there's a lot more that were more not than hot for the guys, because there are a lot more like weird, jokey designs. Um, Let me see. Who are the, yeah, lots of 98s. There's two right there with Madarako and McCage. I don't know if anybody did higher than 98. Urayo did 98. I don't know if anyone did higher than 98 for unattractive. But Yusracha tied with Bomb, and let's see, who was the third one here? It was still up towards the top. I really don't remember. It wasn't Kuhn, was it? Ledo did well. Marco Asensio did well. Let's see. Edwan, right. You know what makes sense? So Edwan, Yusracha, and Bomb tie for the most attractive man. And there's a lot of least attractive men. Least attractive women were the Yogurt Auntie, and then Apple and Ryua. And the most attractive woman was, makes complete sense, was Garam. Okay, interesting. It is so interesting to see what other people think. Again, like I said, I think revisiting this in the future, if it ever gets to like 1,000 or 2,000 responses, to me would be very interesting. But yeah, as it is now, thank you so much for watching. Gotta go get this video posted. It's very long. Thank you so much. Like if you did like the video, I guess. Comment down there to tell me what you thought of my answers, what your answers are, what you thought of the results, etc., etc. Yeah, we can talk down in the comments if you want. If you want to talk on Twitter, we can. If you want to talk on Discord, ask and I'll give you a link to the server. If you want to help support the channel, you can drop a super thanks down below if you want to, or you can become a patron or channel member. Huge thank you to people who are patrons and channel members. You can go to patreon.com/HakuofTheTubes, or a link will be in the description, or you can just go down below and hit join. Current patrons and channel members are Chosen Regular Evan Hawley, Magical Girl. Oh, my face cam is all thrown off because of the formatting. Okay, whatever. Magical Girls, FR Nono, Huarayun, and Smeller Dog, Sheridan Student David Langstaff, and Slayer Candidate SG. Massive, massive thank you to them. Massive thank you to all of you for watching. Gotta start lean the other way, lean into frame. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.